Hello, children. Today we are going to study the first poem of the book Flamingo, My Mother at 66 by Kamala Das. Before starting with the poem, let's know something about the poetess Kamala Das. She is recognized as one of the India's foremost poets. Her works are known for her originality, versatility, and the indigenous flavor of the soil. Kamala Das has published many novels and short stories in English and Malayalam. So, now, dear children, let us start to recite the first paragraph of the poem and elaborate its meaning. Driving from my parents' home to Cochin last Friday morning. Here, the poet has gone to visit the parents' home near Cochin. On Friday morning, she was returning. And on her way, she saw her mother lifeless. It is written, I saw my mother beside me, dozed, open mouthed, her face ashen like that of a corpse. This says that her face was pale, lifeless, just like a dead body. It perhaps expressed the pain she felt because of the separation from her daughter. So, children, I hope you have understood the first stanza, and now let us move to the second stanza. And realized with pain that she was as old as she looked. So, here the poet was alarmed by the sudden realization that old age had crept upon her mother. It was a reality she found hard to accept. The poet was pained to see her mother's colorless, pale face. Trees sprinting the merry children, spilling out of their homes. I am repeating the line. Trees sprinting the merry children, spilling out of their homes. Here, the poet wants to say that to take her attention away from the disturbing thought, she looked outside the car and she saw the young green trees appeared to be running in the opposite direction. She also saw a group of children rushing out of their homes to play. All this probably reminded her of her childhood when her mother was young. The young sprinting trees represented how fast the time had flown away. The young children represented youth, which was full of life and energy. After the second stanza, let's move on to the third stanza. But after the airport's security check, standing a few yards away. Here, the poet wants to say that the young children and trees were able to divert her thoughts away. But after reaching the airport and passing through the security check, the poet looked at her mother. I looked again at her wan, pale as a late winter's moon. Here, the word wan represents pale and giving the impression of illness. So, the poet looked at her mother, who was standing a few yards away from her. Her mother looked lifeless and dull like a late winter's moon, which cannot be seen clearly because of mist and fog. Now let us move on to the last stanza of the poem. And felt that old familiar ache, my childhood's fear, but all I said was see you soon. Here, the poet wants to say that once again she was pained to see her mother in this condition. As she was going away and leaving her mother, her old familiar pain, her childhood fear that she would lose her mother suddenly came back to her. So, she tried to hide her emotions behind her smile. Now let's move back to the stanza. Amma, all I did was smile and smile and smile. Here she says that she gave hope to her mother and herself by saying that they would meet again and kept on smiling. Thank you. So, children, after the elaboration of the poem, let us move on to certain poetic devices based on this poem. The first poetic device is a simile, which is shown in the line Wan pale as a late winter's moon, her face ashen like that of a corpse. The second poetic device is a metaphor, which is shown by the line The merry children spilling out of their homes. The next poetic device is a personification, which is shown by the young trees sprinting. And the last poetic device is a repetition, which is shown by the line I did was smile and smile and smile. And now I am giving you certain practice questions which are important for the examination point of view. The first question is, what were the poet's feelings as she drove to Kochi airport? I repeat, what were the poet's feelings as she drove to Kochi airport? The second important question is, in the last line of the poem, why does the poet use the word smile repeatedly? In the last line of the poem, why does the poet use the word smile repeatedly? And the third question is, what was the poet's childhood fear? I repeat, what was the poet's childhood fear? Okay, children, I hope you all have understood the poem and you will try to attempt these practice questions. So, stay home and stay safe. Thank you very much.